All right. Hey, welcome everybody to Triathlon A Budget. Like what I did there? Today we're going to be talking about how to do triathlons on a budget. I'm going to show you all kinds of tips and tricks to save a couple bucks here and there. Make it easier on our wallets. So I'm going to let everybody get in here. When you get inside here, put all of your names, where you're from, so I know where you guys are at. We can talk back and forth here. So let's get going real quick. Let's go from 0 to 60 real quick. Background check. So hey, my name is Tyler Claypool. I live in Central Illinois with my wife and 2 kids here right now. I went from couch potato to Ironman by mastering the conversation in my mind first, learning to eat healthy second, and only then could I train the way I needed to be successful at a high level. So I had to start with my mind. Triathlon changed my life, and it's my mission to help you change your life through triathlon also. Check me out, YouTube at Tyler Claypool, Instagram at The Triathlete Coach, and Facebook at The Triathlete Coach. Check out my pages, follow me, and you can get stay up to date with all the stuff going on. All right, let's start. Triathlon on a budget. No time like the present. So when I started this presentation, this guide, this coaching session, I started it out as a guide about spending money and where to spend it on the most effective triathlon gear, which it still is. But during my research, I got sidetracked for a bit. We're going to get to the triathlon gear section at the end, but let me explain how I got sidetracked here. This is really cool. It's pretty interesting. I was doing my research. I give all the links here to all the articles and all the studies that I've used here in my research. I love the data. The numbers tell the true tale for me. So I love to dig into the numbers here. So this is what I found. I checked out a handful of resources about triathletes, what they like to see in a triathlon, what they don't like to see, what they'd like to see done better at a triathlon, what keeps them from the sport, what makes them come back every year, how many races they do, all kinds of data. All right, so I looked into all that. This is what I found. I found that we as triathletes say that this sport is expensive. All right, you hear it all the time. It's an expensive sport to get into. So I asked myself, is this just an excuse to not do triathlons? Because they are hard. They can be tough if you let them be. Or is cost actually keeping people away from this great sport? So I went to digging, and this is what I found. Check out this here, membership needs study. This survey here was done. The number one need that members say they need are discounts. They need the sport to be cheaper. Number 2, more discounts. So number 1 and number 2, which is the majority of the research of the results in the studies, say that they need more discounts. My takeaway from this, we think that this sport is costing us too much money. It's too costly. Okay. So go to the next one. More data. The next survey I looked at, reasons for not participating in any multi-sport or triathlon events in the next year. All right. Number 6, cost. There's 5 more ahead of that, but still, being 6th on the list is less convincing than being 1st, but cost still made the list and is in the top 9 reasons why they wouldn't come back. Okay. So my takeaway from looking at this data, where I got to was, we still think this sport is costing us too much money. Cost is an issue, right? Next study. Why members don't use a coach. Number 1, cost. All right. The study does not split out the numbers for online coaching compared to in-person coaching. They just call it coaching. All right. So it's my opinion that most of the rub has to do with in-person coaching, because I know from experience that in-person coaching is way more expensive than online coaching. All right. And if you want to check the costs there, look at, shameless plug here, the triathletecoach.com. I offer triathlon coaching services. My online coaching services are fractions of the cost of what in-person coaching services are per month. All right, so check that out. So my takeaway here is we still think this sport is costing us too much money. All these surveys say we complain about costs, right? Next, so I asked myself, all right, well, if we say it costs too much money, how much does the average triathlete actually bring in each year? How much do we make? Right? So average income, this is all the data combined, high and low, right in the middle. The average income of triathletes in the U.S. is $126,000. That's much over the mean, the average, median, whatever that is. It's much higher over the actual average income. 49% report white-collar jobs, 19% report professional jobs such as doctors, lawyers, or accountants. So my takeaway from this now, so I'm adding these things up in my head, and I keep thinking, okay, what does this mean to me now? So we still think the sport is costing us too much money, even though the average triathlete has an above average income. Interesting. Next. So next question, how much do we spend on triathlons each year? So I dug into that. The average triathlon entry fee is $90, but fees, and I've paid up to over $700 for Ironman race. So it can vary anywhere in between that, but the average is $90, right? And then I asked myself, how much do we spend each year? We spend on an average of $5,700 a year on triathlon-related gear, services, and travel to races and events. Quite a bit of money, but my takeaway now as I'm going through this is we spend lots of money on this sport each year, okay? Next, I dig farther. I come across this study, member recommendations for USAT initiatives for the next 5 to 10 years. So what would we like to see? What as triathletes would we like to see the sport take a direction towards? What I find, not a single suggestion talks about lowering the cost of the sport. Everything else in here, youth development, which is great, love that. All kinds of stuff. Nothing about costs. So what's my takeaway? We just aren't interested in lowering the cost of the sport enough to do something about it. Do we think it's expensive? Yes. Do we still spend lots of money on it? Yes. But we're not interested in lowering the costs. Interesting. Okay. Next, so the result and my final takeaway of this research, everything together. This is my opinion. This is my quote. The average triathlete has a good income. We spend lots of money on the sport each year. We aren't interested in lowering the cost of the sport, and we continue to complain about how much the sport is costing us. Interesting, huh? So I'm not a science rocketist, but this doesn't make sense, right? It sounds like we're complaining about something that we aren't interested in fixing, and I don't like the sound of that. That's not good practice. That's not how we're supposed to do this thing, right? So I asked myself, what can I do to help out? How can I make a difference? What can I do to do my part, right? SMH, shake my head. So I continue to think, how do we do this? But not all triathletes can shovel out the dough that kind of dough, $5,700 a year or more. That was average. So some people are spending more than that. We can't all shovel out thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in the sport each year. Not possible. Some people can, some people can't. My whole career, I've kept my triathlon costs crazy low. I didn't want to make this sport a burden on my family, and spent a lot of time and effort and worked hard to keep all my costs low. I've always done that. I've won races. I've crossed Ironman finish line on a heavy aluminum bike frame, an inexpensive one. I've passed a slew of riders over the years on their $20,000 time trial bikes with aero helmets, the whole get up. I wore my last pair of shoes for over 3 years. I put a YouTube video up the other day. Go check that out. I explain exactly how I did it. Check out at the Triathlete Coach. No, I'm sorry. Check out Tyler Claypool on YouTube for my YouTube video. It's got my Triathlete Coach logo there. I got thousands and thousands of miles out of them as I watched the big brand names pump out style after style. All my friends, everybody buy the brand new $170 running shoes every season, multiple times, and I'm still running in my 3-year-old shoes, saving money. I've proved that you don't need to drop a fortune to race triathlon and be successful at it. I want to share how I did it all the way through to the full Ironman level triathlon. Maybe my story will help someone else in the community or will allow someone else the opportunity to experience this life-changing sport like I have, even if it's just one person. That's my mission, is to help change other people's lives through the sport of triathlon, right? So now we know all that. We see all the research, and I want to do my part. So let's learn why, the laws and the nature of buying stuff, of buying gear, right? Each triathlete is different, has different purchasing preferences, incomes, goals, values, tastes, upbringings, careers, investment, whatever. In full transparency, I am part tight ass and the other part extremely practical. All right. So that right there leads to me being super frugal, getting every last drop out of every piece of gear I use. That's how I do it. Neither way is right. No way is the perfect way. It's just your preference. Okay, so that's where I'm taking this down the road of my preference, how I do things, in hopes to help someone. I'm going to show you how to spend less money when buying gear for triathlon. Why spend less money? Good question. So a lot of people would ask me that. Why are you spending less? Just buy the cool stuff. Buy the fast stuff. Who cares? The cost of entry to the sport keeps a lot of people from trying it. Okay. We show that we spend tons of money on it. There's tons of gear. Bike, cycling, and triathlon in general is one of the heaviest gear dependent sports on the planet. If you don't know where to spend your money, you can quickly spend 20 grand and not even have everything you need to race. It's insane. That's crazy. Compare that to like basketball. You got to buy a $20 basketball and go walk onto a public court and shoot hoops. Baseball, you need a glove and a baseball, and you can go throw the baseball up in the air to yourself. Or you need another person with another glove. $100 total. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars people spend to get into the sport. All right. So the rules that I stick to when buying gear that saves me money, a couple of them. Buy effective gear that works and try to find it on sale. Now that's the practical side coming out in me. I do this stuff at home, drives my wife insane, but that's me being practical and saving costs. Next, know the very best places to spend your money when you need more speed, aerodynamics. So know the cost of speed. Know what each second of speed costs you when you're buying gear. I'll get into that. That's what I like about this. All right, here we go. Here's the gear guide. Okay. Triathl-On A Budget, swim gear. All you need is a swimsuit and goggles to swim. That's it. Most pools will have tools that you can use, like free pool buoys, kickboards, sometimes even towels. Your goggles don't need to be the most expensive or the best looking or the ones that Phelps uses, anything. They just need to keep most of the water out of your eyes. You're going to get water in your eyes. Just get some goggles that keep the most of it out. All right. Grab a bottle of water, a pair of sandals, and a towel. These are things you probably already have because you go to the pool or the beach during the summer anyways. So check this out. Here's what I've done. This tier men's suit here, $266. I'm saying get this tier 1 here for under $18. Cha-ching, saved you money. Goggles, here's a pair for $199. Get these tier 1s for under $6. Boom. Just on this page alone, I saved you $478. That's it. I just saved you that. So to get into swimming, get access to a pool, and you spend $17.49 and $5.24. So under $30 and you're a swimmer. That's all you need. Okay? Do you need a bike? If you need an inexpensive bike for cycling or triathlon, if you're brand new, if you don't have a road bike, if you don't have any type of bike, if you have a comfort bike that it's not really meant for riding miles on the road and racing a race, and you don't know how to find one, or you're going for that super cheap bike because you can't spend $20,000 on a bike, check out my video, my guide on YouTube. Actually, I'm sorry, that's on my website. Go to that triathletecoach.com/free-training-sign up, or click the button on my homepage and check that out. Okay? That's where to find that. I'll give you the full guide. That's a whole nother video. And this is kind of a snapshot. This is part of it in here. So bike costs, what are we looking at? A brand new entry level or mid-level bike could cost you thousands of dollars. Here is this is probably mid-level, entry to mid-level bike from, this is a Fuji. You're looking around $2,500. And you don't need, and you may, if you're at the beginning or you haven't done a race or you've done a couple, you don't know if you're going to ride 10,000 miles a year or not. I wouldn't go buy that one first, right? A lot of used bikes with a tune-up at your local bike shop will cost you just a few $100 and can last you a lifetime. So check this Fuji out down here. I don't know why I picked Fuji. It's just one I found on Craigslist. It just happened to be a Fuji. You can just any type of bike brand. $270. Go pick it up. $270. It's yours. And that is a great bike. This is basically the exact same bike above. Probably just a year older or so, and just needs a quick tune-up. Okay. I just saved you $2,230 just on this page. It makes me so happy. You have no idea. There's lots of people that buy a brand new bike right at once, hang it in the garage, and then put it on Craigslist a year later. Search for these bikes. These are the bikes. If you want a used bike that's not at a bike shop, go find those bikes. They're nearly brand new, probably just need a chain oiled and air put in the tires. And you can get these bikes for pennies on the dollars like I'm showing you right here. I used an inexpensive aluminum frame bike to train for and race lots of half and full Ironman races and everything in between. Thousands, and I've still got it. I've got an old Scott Road bike now that I got used for $125. I repaired a couple things on it, and now I race with it. It's my race bike. So it's very similar to this one down here. So it's doable. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I literally just helped this guy get this one. Okay, perfect example. I just helped another beginner triathlete source his first bike ever. I took him through my How to Find Your Perfect Bike course. Go to my website and find it. Click the button. He found this incredible bike that had been hanging in the garage for a few years. Okay. He sent me a picture of it, texted it to me. I looked at it. And then he got it to his house. We set it up, got it all tuned up. And it came with a bike computer and a speed sensor, a saddlebag, tail light, new tires. There's no rust or blemishes anywhere. The chain was a little gummy, and 2 bottle cages on it. Flat pedals. It's aluminum with a composite carbon fork. Ready to ride. This is literally ridden a few years ago and then hung in the garage. If you can tell, this picture is flopped upside down. That's actually hanging. That's upside down. You can tell by the truck through the window. So I just rotated 180 degrees so you could see what it looked like. But that's been hanging in the garage. It's in great condition, but it needs a little TLC. All he needs to do is clean and lube the chain, or maybe replace it, depending. and replace the dry rotted brake pads. That's it. He's going to drop it off at our local bike shop, and they're going to do all this for him for under $50. The best part about it, this guy is going to get this bike for free. He just wanted it out of his garage. How incredible is that? He's going to be able to do this, his first triathlon on this, and many more on this bike this summer. We're going to ride tons of miles together. So that's a perfect example. There you go. So instead of spending that $2,500 on a bike, I take it back. Before he found this, he was going to go to the bike shop, and he was going to get about it would have been about $1,000 bike, basically just like this, but new. So he's going to get $1,000 bike for, instead of that, he's going to get a $50 bike. $950 saved him right there instantly. Okay. Other bike gear, minimum gear you need all the safety gear. Whatever you feel you need to be safe on the road, you got to have it. Disclaimer. You got to have taillights, headlights, flashers, safety gear, a vest if you need it, helmet, sunglasses, all that. Helmets have a shelf life and can become brittle and unsafe, all right? You have to replace them every once in a while. Make sure to follow the safety guidelines and have a safe helmet. But take a look at the right here. You can get this Schwinn cheap bike helmet at Walmart for $17.99 compared to this Cask one for $355. That's a difference of $337 just in your helmet. More money saved. All right, next you need sunglasses. You need a spare kit. You have to have a spare kit on your bike or in your pocket. Make sure you carry one on each ride. All right. Gotta have a cycling kit. Now, you can wear regular shorts, or you can wear a regular t-shirt, whatever you want to wear. But within your cycling kit, you have shorts or your chamois, your bib, socks, your cap, whatever, gloves, whatever you need, whatever clothing you need. You need a tire pump at your house and a water bottle cage on your bike. Okay. But like this last bike we found had a handful of that stuff on there already. Running gear requires the very least amount of running gear to get started. Literally all you need, you actually don't even need a watch. I suggest you have a watch. I'm going to tell you to get a watch. We don't need one. So you just need an activity tracking app on your phone and running shoes, or just your athletic shoes you got in the closet. That's all you got to do to take your run. That's it. Remember, real quick, check me out on YouTube at Tyler Claypool, Instagram at The Triathlete Coach, and Facebook at The Triathlete Coach. Check it out. I post all kinds of tips and tricks for this. I've been releasing a bunch of YouTube videos lately on a lot of these topics too. Go check it out. Your watch. And if you got any questions, put them in the chat box here below. Okay. And we will get to this afterwards. Got a lot of good people on here. Make sure we're still on the screen. Okay, we're back. Okay. So back to it. To get a watch, all you need in a watch is to be water resistant and have a rubber watch band. Don't get a fabric or leather watch band for this because you're going to be sweaty. You're going to be swimming with it on. You need something that's not going to get wet. Okay. Here's a sport watch on Amazon for $5.99. The low price of $5.99. Okay. That's all you need. You just need something with a stopwatch. Start and stop. That's all you need to track your running times. Okay. Now I'm going to draw the line here. I'm going to tell you, you need to have a watch that's GPS enabled to track your distances for you and heart rate based. A couple ways to do heart rate. You can either get a watch like these two watches here that have wrist based heart rate monitors on them, or you can buy the heart rate strap. Actually, here we go. Sitting right here on my bike. Or buy the heart rate monitor strap that goes on your chest right here. Okay. And that syncs up with your watch or your bike computer. All right. There we go. So I'm telling you right now, that's a $5.99 watch. Forget that. I don't want you to use that. I'm showing it to you because of the cost. But I want you to buy, at a minimum, something like this Garmin Forerunner 35. eBay for 99 bucks. Compared to the Phoenix 6 series or the latest, normally the latest watches out there are around $500 to $600. So right there, saved you another 500 bones. Okay. If you don't want to buy a watch yet, or you can't buy that watch yet, or you're waiting because grandma's going to buy you the watch for Christmas and it's July and you can't wait, go get Strava. Actually get Strava anyways, download it. It's a free app on your phone. Download it, sync it to your watch, to your bike computer, to all your activity tracking devices. This is free. You can throw this in your pocket and you can go for a run, ride, anything. Don't use it for your swim. You don't even need a GPS watch anymore if you don't want one. You can just use this. There's a bunch of these activity trackers out there for your phone. This is my favorite. This is one of the best. I would just go straight to this one and start using it. There's no heart rate tracking through this, through your phone. So you would have to have the strap or your watch, and then that data will sync up to your Strava app. There's lots of free activity tracking apps available, and they all work. Just pick one you like, man. Come on, man. All right. I just saved you $3,500, 3,500 big ones so far, just on a few gear tips. Woo whoop. The next tips are based on your lifestyle, which is different for everyone, but expect thousands of more dollars saved here in just a second. All right. Let's keep moving. That's incredible though. So right there, just on entry level, just to start the sport, I just saved you $3,500. What can you, I can do so much with $3,500. I know you could do. That's why we're doing this. Race entry fees. The average triathlon race entry fee is around 90 bucks, but can get over 700. The two options to save money here. First, you can go search and find the cheapest entry fees and go do those races. And that's going to be the least expensive. Or you can create your own race. I've done races on my own by myself. I've done up to the half Ironman distance by myself on my own. Okay, I did this one day. I have done one half Ironman like this. I started at a local park. I swam 1.2 miles open water while the park director kayaked beside me for safety. I rode my bike for 56 miles, starting at the lake and ended up at my house where I could park my bike. Then I ran 13.1 miles unsupported to complete the 70.3 mile race. I had all my clothing, nutrition, water staged at my house as my at this house as my transition area. So at the end of the day, I saved a few $100 on registration, saved a few hundred on travel and hotel rooms, saved a bunch of money. I could have spent the money, but I wanted to try this. I wanted to attempt this on my own and save the cash at the same time. I wanted to try to see if I could do this. The more and more races you do, the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year you spend just on race entry fees alone. So I did this, worked out awesome. If you want to do this, take the necessary safety precautions, okay? This can be tricky, but you can do it. My running shoes, and you need to watch this video here on my website, thetriathletecoach.com. Got 3 years and 1,000 miles out of my running shoes. I just give you a quick part of this video. Around thousands of miles, trained for mini half and full Ironmans and more, and everything underneath those. I even wore them for daily use sometimes. I even wore them to Disney for a week. You know how much miles you walk at Disney World. If you ever taken your kids, you walk tons of miles. So that was even included in there. And after 3 years, I finally replaced them. Here's how I do that. Here's how I buy running shoes. All right, this is how I do it inexpensively and make them last. So stop by your local running shoe store every few weeks, okay? When you're ready to go look for the next pair. You don't have to do this all year round. Just when you're ready to look, start to stop by your local shoe store. take a look in their overstock selection. So most likely, maybe in the basement, the attic, the back room. With mine, there was a building behind it. They stored all their overstock shoes in. This is where they have cheap, super cheap discounts of the shoes that are not on the shelf anymore. They had to take these shoes that they didn't sell and put them in the back room to make room for the new shoes that just came out, right? And they sell these shoes at a super low discount. Super low price. I'm talking like sometimes like 20% of an actual shoe cost, the brand new cost. Do this. Buy 2 pairs of shoes that are different. They could be different styles, different brands, whatever. And then rotate them each run. That's all you got to do. Most shoe manufacturers and shoe stores tell you to replace your shoes every 300 miles, but you don't have to. If they're still comfortable and not giving you any pains or troubles in your body, then if you want to, you can keep running them. I did that for 3 years straight with these two. I could still be running them, but I already replaced them. And here's a disclaimer: consult your shoe store or your physician if you have issues with your feet, because problems in your feet can really mess up your body, your legs, your balance. I mean, it can really jack you up. So you need to do that the right way. And like I said, learn exactly how I did it. Got more tips and tricks. Go check my video out. Okay. Keep putting your questions in the chat box. It's filling up here. And I will get to those here shortly. Thanks for sticking along here. Nutrition and fueling. You can blow tons of money on your nutrition and fueling. And here's how you blow all your money on your food. You go eat junk food for every meal and snack. Then you have to cram tons of expensive supplements and shakes down because the junk food you're eating doesn't have the vitamins and minerals you actually need in your body to race triathlon and train. It drives me insane. I see it all the time. You've got to keep the supplements and the shakes in check, bro. They can destroy your wallet and your body. Instead of doing that, you got to eat healthy, whole food, non-processed, nutrient-rich foods. You got to eat dark-colored veggies and fruits all the time. It's got to be your main source of your meals. The majority of your plate needs to be filled up with dark-colored veggies first. Then you can add on fruits. Then you can add on other stuff, all right? But it's mostly got to be dark-colored veggies in your meals. Buying whole foods, fruits, and veggies, and preparing your meals yourself is not only cost-effective, but the number one best way to fuel your body too. So if you go to the store and you go to the frozen section and you find a bag of diced or sliced or whatever prepared frozen veggies, and then you go to the fresh section, the fresh is always cheaper because no one's had to touch it. They just throw it on the shelf and you buy it and you prepare it. Okay? It's much cheaper and much better for you. Triathl-On A Budget, the clothing tracker. I love this. I created this clothing tracker for you guys. I track my clothes, the types of outfits I wear in different weathers, different conditions. I want you to do this too. Keep track of all the clothing that works for you in all weather conditions that you face in your part of the world. This is going to eliminate the need for you to buy tons of extra clothing that you don't know if you'll need. So instead of having a closet full of clothes that you don't know if you're going to need or not and you don't even wear, know exactly what you need for the exact condition and just have that stuff, right? This eliminates clothing or weather condition excuses. Gotta grind those excuses. Kill them. Here's a couple examples of my documenting my stuff. So one day I went for a run. I just pulled this out of my clothing tracker. I know the temperature 36 degrees, a wind, what kind of gloves I wear. I mean, what kind of clothes I wore, light pair of socks, tights, running shorts, t-shirt, sweatshirt, light gloves, light headband. And then the result I got, it was the perfect clothing choice for that day. I didn't even feel hot or cold. It was perfect. My next one, I was mountain biking, different conditions. And I note that my feet were great, but I had too many shirt layers and I got sweaty, which is not cool. So head on over to my website, thetriathletecoach.com, and you can download this tracker for free. And what I do is I just print a bunch of copies of this, or I save it on my phone or my desktop here and edit that as I go along. And then I have basically a database of what works and what doesn't. Go check it out. Let's talk about coaching. That costs money, right? According to a membership survey done in 2016 by USA Triathlon, the cost is the #1 reason for not having an in-person coach. Now, remember, I offer triathlon coaching services. So it might seem like I'm busting triathlon coach costs. You would think that would hurt me. That's not what I'm going for. I mean, this is educational. This is real numbers, real surveys. Getting the correct data out there is more important than coaching my coaching business, right? This is the truth. Educating you guys is my mission. Changing your lives is my mission, right? You can check it out here, teamusa.org is where I found the study. Why members don't use a coach. So I know by experience, individual triathlon coaches can cost from $200 to $400 a month, even more expensive. That's a lot of money on top of everything else. If you're training for a full Ironman, you might consider this. Or if you're, definitely professionals, but amateur age groupers, sprint Olympic, half Ironman, that's too much money to spend for a coach. You don't need to. Shameless plug here, plugging it. Triathlon coaching has transitioned to an online-based program. This is what most coaching is going to, right, is what I offer. It's a fraction of the cost of traditional coaching, and it's more effective. An online coach can give you tips and tricks of where to spend your money effectively as part of it, but you can get direct access to the triathlon coach 24 hours a day, just like on my service here on my website at thetriathletecoach.com for coaching. So I offer triathlon coaching, training plans, resources, courses. I offer private online group access to me for guidance and questions that guide you through your journey. So go check it out, thetriathletecoach.com. And I'm going to pop in the chat box here. Oh, let's go back. We're not ready for that. I'm going to pop up here in the chat box. I'm going to drop in. Okay. Right there. A link to get a $1 free, $1 trial to my membership. So go check it out, thetriathletecoach.com. Use this link right here, only for attendees for this training coaching session alone. Nobody else. You guys are the only ones that get that. So go check it out. I'm going to post it again. Boop. So $1 trial offer for coaching session attendees. thetriathletecoach.com/$trial. Go check that out. You get a free first month for $1, an entire month for $1 before it goes back up to the full price. So go check that out now. Okay. Let's go. The cost of speed. I love this is my jam right here. I love the numbers. So triathlon is among the world's most gear-intensive sports. The gear you select and how you use it can mean big results or bigger disappointment, right? If you use the wrong stuff in the wrong way. Let's take a scientific look at triathlon to see what truly makes you faster. What gear makes you faster? We're going to focus on your bike setup because the sport, cycling, requires the most gear and reaches the highest speed on the course out of the three sports. So we have the most gear and you get to the highest speed, which means aerodynamics plays the biggest role in this portion of triathlon. That's going to mean if we spend most of our time and energy focusing on this, we'll get the most benefit. Got it? So what do I mean by all this? Each piece of gear, helmet, wheels, aero bars, each piece of gear creates a different amount of drag aerodynamically, which equates to overall speed and your overall time on your ride, okay? Each piece also costs different. this leads to the question, well, what do I spend my money on if I want to upgrade some of my gear, a piece of my bike setup? That's the question we'll answer here. And just so you know, the very cheapest way to gain speed on the bike, because bike speed is kind of or performance, how to track how fast you're on the bike is watts per kilogram or watts per your body weight. So to increase that number, all you have to, the easiest, maybe not the easiest, but the cheapest way to do it is to lose some pounds, lose some body weight, lose body fat. If you can lose a couple pounds for free, you don't have to replace parts on your bike that are much cheaper. Finding a pound on your bike is way, way more expensive and hard than to just lose a pound off your body. Okay. Hope that makes sense. The cost of speed spreadsheet. Check this out. This is cool here. I love this. So we're looking at the equipment, each piece of equipment on the left-hand side. And we're saying we're going to go from a regular jersey. Let's do this, aero bars. We're going to go from upright handlebars, sitting upright on your bike, right? Sitting up on the hoods. We're going to go to a tuck with aero bars. So you're going to be riding like this, right, on your aero bars, just like these guys, my aero bars. Okay. The drag, so making that change, going from upright to using aero bars. So just adding aero bars to your bike, you're going to save whatever that drag difference or G. I don't even know what G is. You're going to save in drag that much, 262 somethings. The time saved in a 40K time trials is 122 seconds. That's 2 minutes, right? Just literally doing nothing else. Training no different, losing no weight, nothing. Literally just adding aero bars to your bike and using them in a 40K, which is a 25-mile bike ride. You're going to save 2 minutes. All right. Ooh, go back. Oh, easy. Approximate costs. This says you're going to spend over $200. It'll cost you less than that. You can get a set of aero bars for under $50 that you can attach onto your road bike. Okay. So we see that the cost per second saved, if you do the math, cost per second saved is $1.64 per second. That number there is how we compare, or you can use approximate cost, is how we compare what gear upgrade to do to our bike, right? So we take the time saved compared to, or divided by the approximate cost, and you get time per cost per time saved, right? So the lowest two, we'll go through a lot of these: skin suit, aero bars, aero helmet, body position with wind tunnel. You've read all these. Shoe covers, aero frame. Some of these, an aero frame can cost you $3,000 plus. To save you 17 seconds over 25 miles. That's almost nothing. Pro, yeah, you better be doing that or you're going to lose. Age grouper, enthusiast, beginner, 17 seconds isn't going to do as much for us as a pro. So I would not suggest spending over $3,000 to get 17 seconds right now until you get to that level. Okay. My first suggestion, number one thing I always tell people is to buy aero bars and put those on your bike. That's the number one best way you can do it. Why do I say that? This is organized by how many, by time saved. So the first most time saved per gear is a skin suit. Second is aero bars. I always tell people to get aero bars first. Do that, and then next. So either do aero bars and then a skin suit. And if you're going for time, go down the list of time. If you're going for money, start with the very cheapest one. You can start with shoe covers, and then you can do aero bars. But I always tell people, start with aero bars, number one. So that's that. Okay. Next. if you want a deeper dive into triathlon gear and speed, read this book, Faster, Demystifying the Science of Triathlon Speed by Jim Gurley. This offers a very intense, specific, science-based guidance on the fastest techniques. I believe I've read this. I believe this guy was a astrophysicist, some scientific expert, and he got into cycling and he figured out basically the same stuff we just talked about in a very intense, deep dive. It's a great book. I suggest reading that. I'm not tied to this at all. I'm just saying this is a great book. I'm here to help you. Okay. All right, so let's put this all together, everything together. Triathlon is one of the most gear-dependent sports in the world. Triathlon gear can be very costly, but for some, it's worth spending their money on, even if they continue to complain about how much it's costing them, right? Because triathletes make lots of money, or above average money. They complain about the cost of it, but they still spend it every year, a lot of it. So even if they continue to complain about it, they still spend their money on it, right? But it's possible to race triathlon year-round and not spend a lot by sticking to a few rules that we just went over. Buy the effective gear that's on sale. Buy the stuff that works, that costs the least. Bingo. Know exactly where to spend your money by learning the cost of speed, which we just went over. Read Jim Gurley's book. And lastly, find an online course, online coach, or a mentor that can give you tips on how to keep triathlon inexpensive along with their coaching. Shameless plug. Go to the triathletecoach.com right now and go check that out. Okay? That's the deal. So I'm going to be 100% transparent here. Okay, guys? It is truly my mission to help you change your life through the sport of triathlon. I did it. I went from the couch, from a dumpster fire of health concerns. Go check my website out, thetriathletecoach.com, and you can see I put my story on there of how I went from a dumpster fire of health to the Ironman level, and how I did that and what I learned and how I can help you learn the same stuff in way less amount of time, way less trial and error. But I offer a few things here. My triathlon lifestyle guide. So I basically track and document my workouts, the healthy foods I eat, the mindset I've used over the past decade to getting me off the couch to the Ironman level. And I create a lifestyle guide for you guys. You can use it year round. I update it regularly. I add to the list of workouts regularly that I do. So you'll be doing the same exact workouts I do each day. I list a bunch of the healthy foods that I eat every single day. And the most important part up here, how I stay in the mindset. Okay. That's a very, very useful guide right there. For anything, go check that out. I got tons of triathlon training resources also. Don't spend all the years that I spent learning this sport, all the trial and error. I can teach you how to get the same results efficiently and effectively with all the triathlon resources that I have online for you. Let's go check it out on my website. And then I offer triathlon coaching services. So go check it out. Inside my online private group is where I help guide you guys to becoming successful triathletes. And I hold you guys accountable to make sure you achieve your goals, to make sure you toe the start line and you cross that finish line. Okay? If you got questions, ask me there. Who's this for? This is for either beginners, even up to experienced sprint, Olympic, and half Ironman triathletes. If you've never heard about triathlon before, this is for you too. If you want to do an Ironman someday, don't know where to start, have no idea what to do, where to begin, this is for you too. Okay? I can guide you there. Please, I'm asking you now, if you do me a favor, if you don't mind, go to my website now, sign up, join I call it the Excuse Grinder Triathlon Training and Coaching Membership. Please go join that now. Consider it. Go check it out. I'd love to help change your life, love to help make your triathlon journey come true. And for you guys right now, the $1 trial offer for the coaching session attendees only is up right now. I'm going to post it again in the chat box. Go check it out here. Boom. Get that again. thetriathletecoach.com/$trial. Bam. One more time for good measure. Bam. It's just for you guys. Okay. Go check it out. Take advantage of that. Go to my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook pages and check me out there too. All right. If you have any questions, hit me up. Stay up to date. Follow us on social. You can always reach me on my website at the contact page or just message me on one of these platforms. I look at them every day. So I'm going to go over here to the questions I've got throughout this thing. I'll try to hit as many as I can in the time that we have left. Okay. So looks like we've got a question from Jimmy. Okay. Jimmy says, can I camp at a race to save money? Yes, you can. Absolutely. So Jimmy, good question. In one of my previous free coaching sessions that I put up here, go find it on my website. You can get access to all my previous ones. I'll post these later. Let me explain that real quick here. If you sign up for my webinar, my coaching sessions here, you get access to me. You can ask me any question, just like these guys are doing right now. They're still coming in. You can ask me questions, and I'll answer all of them online. I'll talk directly to you. It's like Jimmy and Adrian and Greg, all these people. I will talk directly to you. You get direct access to me when we do this. If people don't sign up for it, you can eventually find this under my triathlon, my training and resources page, the replays. But on the replays, you don't get the $1 trial offers or any offer that I offer here, and you don't get to talk to me directly. Okay, so that's why these things are important. I'm going to have lots coming up in the future too. I continue to do these regularly, so find my website and sign up for the next one. All right. Camping, back to camping. One of my previous videos, I talked about different types of races and how to select the best race for you. If you want to save some money on your traveling, if you want to save money by not spending money on hotel rooms, find a race. Ironman 70.3 Muncie, Indiana is at a state park. They've got a camping area right there because there's tons of land. Muncie. I don't remember the name of the park, but I've done that so many times. I can't remember the name of the lake or the park. But you can camp for that race. So you bring your tent. You can sleep in your car. They have a camping area where you can camp right there next to the race. So absolutely, by all means, do that. You're probably going to look at spending $10 to $20 for a campsite for a night compared to $100 to $400 a night on a hotel room, So yes, absolutely, you can do that. You just have to pick the race that has the camping available, right? Good question. That is an option to save money. Next question, a couple more here. Adrian, how much does it cost to tune up your bike at a bike shop? All right. How much does it cost to tune up your bike at a bike shop? So, Adrian, this depends on what type of shape your bike's in. All right. Let's start at the base. I'm trying to decide how to describe which way to go on this. If you take your bike to the bike shop and you need no parts replaced and no parts are broken on your bike, you just need your chain lubed, your bike washed. If you don't do these things yourself, if you need your everything, your gears adjusted, your derailleur adjusted, all that stuff. Brakes tightened, whatever. If you just need things adjusted and tuned up, you're probably looking at somewhere under $100 to get your bike tuned up. I do this regularly. I do some of the maintenance on my bike. Some of them replacing tricky parts. I don't do everything. I do them all, almost everything. Okay. So tune-ups cost you under $100. Now, if you take your bike into the shop for a tune-up for under $100, and in the bike shops, it depends. Some bike shops are more expensive. They'll charge you more. So you can find if you find a bike shop that you think is too expensive, call the next local one. See if they'll do it, if they've got a cheaper rate on bike tune-ups, okay? Take your bike in for a tune-up and they find parts that are broken or need replaced or can't be cleaned up or can't be repaired. And they say, you're going to need to replace your chain. It's wore out completely. It's about to bust. Or you need to, whatever. You've got broken spokes on your wheels and you need to replace the rim. Then you're obviously going to pay for the tune-up and you're going to pay for the replacement parts. Okay. So, way to save money on bike tune-ups is to learn how to do everything yourself. You're going to buy the materials, the lubes, the oils, the cleaning solutions. You're going to be buying the replacement parts on your own. You're going to be buying tools, and you're going to be spending time doing all that, repairing your stuff. So I suggest over time learning how to do as much as you can, as much as you want, as much cleaning and tune-up and anything you want to do, or what your capabilities or tools are like are. Do as much as you can, as much as you like. The rest, leave it up to the pros of the bike shop. Support your local bike shops. Okay. Number 3, we've got time for the last one here. Almost done. Greg, do I need to pay for a bike fitting? Greg, absolutely. Yes, I would pay for a bike fitting. Okay. A professional bike fit will make all the difference in the world for your bike, for your comfort. Now, if you're riding a 1 mile ride and then hopping off at your house, you're doing a super small ride when you're riding, bike fit matters less. As you get up in distances, 10, 50, 100 mile, 200 mile rides, whatever you're riding, if you're training for an Ironman, a half Ironman, if you're just, you got to have a bike. You got to have a bike fit, a professional bike fit. One way to do this, some bike shops, you can find deals where if you buy your bike there brand new, they will throw that bike fit in for free. Okay. And so they fit you for the bike. And then if you decide to buy the bike from them, they waive the fee. If you get fit there and you don't buy the bike from them, they're going to charge you for that bike fit. All right. To see what size you are. So I've had them done for $50, as low as $50 for a bike fit. But you can get up to $400. You can get even more than that. There are such sophisticated types of bike fitting systems out there. You may be at a bike fit for a few hours, and you're paying for a few hours of a bike fit tech's time. So just know that. Okay. So yeah, go find the shop. Go just try and find a deal or the cheapest option. All right. That's all we got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you later. See you later. Thanks.